So, as some of you may know, and when I say some of you, I mean quite literally everyone who knows me both in my personal life and on the internet knows that I have social anxiety. You know, just going out and socializing in general, literally any sort of interaction with another human being, not really my cup of tea, don't really like leaving my apartment that much, to the point where yesterday was the first time I left my apartment, and I want to say 5 days? I can't keep doing that. Human beings are social creatures. I may not be. Apparently I'm not a human being with that statement, but it's fine. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna leave my apartment today. Not my apartment building, just my apartment. We're doing baby steps, because it is raining a lot outside. Like, a little further north is like blizzard, storm, winter advisory warnings, and here it's just raining. A lot. So what better environment and atmosphere to bake chocolate chip cookies, but oh god, not just any chocolate chip cookies. Brown butter chocolate chip cookies, not in my own kitchen, because my apartment building has like a residential kitchen. Is that what it's called? I don't know, a kitchen that's like up for fair game and usage. It's a lot nicer than my kitchen. I'm gonna do exposure therapy for my social anxiety, and I'm going to force myself to bake cookies in said kitchen. I know that you're able to like rent out the kitchen for like parties, and like you can rent out that like area. I didn't do that because I'm like, who is going to use the kitchen at like 3 p.m. on a Wednesday? Besides my weird ass. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure out all of the ingredients. I wrote down the recipe here. I'm gonna measure out all of the ingredients here because that means I have to spend less time down there in the open space of the kitchen. There's also like an office like space right next door where people who work for the building actually are. I don't want to exist outside of my own personal comfort zone. But again, I'm gonna do it and people are gonna love me because I'm gonna provide cookies. It's gonna be a great time. Everyone shut up. Brain, shut up. So I'm gonna start with all of the bowls and containers and utensils that I'm gonna need for this. So I have my reusable grocery shopping bag. I'm just gonna throw all of this in there so I can make the cookies down there. But I'm making brown butter chocolate chip cookies. So not only am I gonna make like the common space of my apartment building smell heavenly, I'm also gonna make it smell, which I mean, it's a good smell. But like I was so tempted to make garlic confit because I have like 3 bulbs of garlic. No, this is 4 bulbs of garlic that I've been needing to make into garlic confit for the longest time. Imagine going into a communal space and slow roasting garlic in the oven for like 2 hours. That's how I get kicked out of my apartment building. But because I'm making brown butter chocolate chip cookies, I need a small pot to make brown butter in. So, small pot, going in the bag. I'm also gonna need a bowl to mix things in, and then a thing to mix said things in bowl. Going in the bag! And then once it's all mixed up, then I gotta scoop it onto trays. So I gotta scoop, going in the bag, and then I got trays that are going in the bag along with silk mats to go on the trays, and then cooling racks for after the trays. Well, I guess that also means I need something to like get the cookies off and onto the cooling rack. So spatula, do I have a clean spatula? This is a cake server. I think this is good enough. Okay, well that's all that stuff. God, my downstairs neighbors hate me. It's okay, I'll send them a cookie. Now we're moving on to measuring out the ingredients. So I'm gonna start by washing my hands before touching any food because I am a professional. I should also take off my rings. I should also technically be wearing a hairnet. There's a lot of technicalities. I also should not have fake nails, but they're getting free cookies, so I don't think they can complain too much. Fun fact, this recipe was given to me by one of my chefs in culinary school, and I've just been using it ever since, so I don't actually know why I'm supposed to be doing the things that the recipe tells me. I don't know. Someone higher up in the baking chain told me that's how it works, and I refused to question it. So we're gonna need 2 different measurements of butter. I'm also using the fancy butter because I'm planning on leaving a couple of these in like the communal kitchen area. Because first of all, I honestly don't know how many cookies this recipe makes. I'm about to find out. And also I can't eat however many cookies this recipe makes by myself. I mean, I could, it's just not really a good idea. But first we're starting off with the butter measurements. So we're starting off with the first butter measurement of 5 ounces, which is about 1.5 sticks of butter. Yeah, about 1.5 sticks of butter. But then we also need the second measurement of 2 more ounces of butter. I have put them in separate containers, so hopefully I do not mix them up, but I don't know. We're literally about to mix them up when we make the cookies, so butter. Throw some covers on the butter, throw the butter in the bag, moving on. We're measuring out, specifically into my hand, 250 grams of all-purpose flour. Don't ask me why this recipe is in both grams and ounces. Again, not my recipe. Next, I am measuring out, if I can find the measuring spoon, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, which, yes, is an entirely different measuring system from the first 2. We're just switching it up. We're having a great time. And then I need not only 200 grams of regular granulated sugar, but then also less than 230, which is what I put in here. Also 150 grams of brown sugar. Going in the bag, along with 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Specifically, the bourbon extract that I made that burns my throat every time I smell it. Wow. So not only am I using fancy butter and I'm using my own homemade vanilla extract, I am using bougie ass ingredients like farm fresh eggs. My mom has an old coworker who has chickens, and her son, I believe, is raising chickens to raise money to get either a weapon for werewolves or a doll for his little sister. I aspire to be that kid when I grow up, but I got fancy like farm fresh eggs, so I need not only 1 egg, but also 1 egg yolk. So then I'm gonna have an extra egg white, a fancy egg white that I don't know what I'm gonna do with. Well, I mean, technically, since these eggs haven't gone through the whole like washing process that the United States makes the poultry industry do, technically, I could just drink this egg white straight. I'm not going to because I'm not a fucking sociopath, but I have the opportunity to if I would want to. I'll wash my hands. And the last thing we need to measure out for our chocolate chip cookies is obviously chocolate chips. So we need 10 ounces of dark chocolate. I have 7, but do not fear that may be all the dark chocolate that I have. But I also have some milk chocolate. Add what's missing, and then that is all of the ingredients measured out and ready to go. I am ready to go downstairs and face the general public. Fuck, why did I do this to myself? This was a bad idea. I don't want to do this anymore. Would you guys like to watch me make cookies in my own kitchen? You've done that before. You want new content. Screw you guys. Love you too. The elevator's here to take me down. Why is my heart literally like beating out of my fucking chest? Hello and welcome to my bright ass, white ass confessional in this elevator. I am horrified to bake cookies in a public setting, which is wild because that used to be my job. So I already hate this, if I'm being completely honest. Hold on, let me show you like how nice this kitchen is. Like it's so nice, it's so fancy. Like look at this like giant ass island. Like I don't want to speak. Like I'm just gonna like shut up and make my cookies. I should have brought something to like, I don't know, set up a camera angle. Before you were literally set up on like Easter candy that I had, and the GoPro got so warm that it melted the Easter candy. So if the angle just kept tilting, that's why. But let me unpack all of my junk. I also brought sea salt to top the cookies with for funsies. Okay, I lied. I was gonna get into this right away, but now I want to snoop. What's in the fridge? There's a fridge here. What seems to be just a bunch of coffee creamers, because there's like a little coffee bar over there. I was expecting more. I was expecting more exciting things. Okay, so now we can actually start by struggling to figure out how the oven works. I gotta preheat it to 350 degrees, and it's kind of like my oven upstairs, but also not at all. Like, I hit bake, but then start. Nope, that's an error. 3. That's so weird. I have to manually input the number. Okay, so moving on to like the actual step one, we're gonna add the 5 ounces of butter from upstairs into the pot, and we're gonna make it into brown butter. It's gonna be real good smelling in here. People are gonna question it, and they're gonna come up to me and ask me questions, and I'm gonna hate it. And now we wait for this to melt and brown, and in the meantime, I can do more snooping. Look at all of these cabinets, all of these cupboards. What's under the sink? Cleaning supplies, I'm glad. I was planning on cleaning up, and I didn't bring anything down here. Fun fact, this oven is so nice, or the stovetop is so nice, that the lowest setting is still too high, and I am basically boiling butter. Okay, so once your brown butter is, you know, brown, you're gonna pull it off the heat, let it cool for a little bit before adding the second amount of butter. I added a little bit earlier just to make sure that it wouldn't explode all over the place, because when you add cold butter to warm butter, bad things happen.
But bad things happen, even to professionals. Especially to professionals.
Not this time around, because now it's cooled down. So normally at this point I would strain the brown butter, except I didn't bring down a strainer or a chinois, and I don't assume that they would have one down here.
And I was right, because while looking through everything, I did not find a strainer, but I did find a hidden stash of alcohol, more specifically Spotted Cow Wisconsin beer. So the people using this kitchen got good taste.
Fun. Who doesn't love a little bit of burnt butter in their cookies? It's fine. So now that the brown butter is all good and ready to go, I'm gonna take the sugar, put it in the mixing bowl. Nice.
And then we jump to this camera angle, because I'm really struggling with the camera angles today. I apologize, but this was the best way that I could show you the combination of the sugar and the brown butter, and then also making awkward eye contact with someone from my building as they walked by. It was awful. I hated it so much.
Hello, it is me, the person that is now using my container of chocolate chips as a GoPro stand. But I just realized that I forgot to bring my notebook down here with the actual recipe. But fun fact, apparently you need to mix the brown butter and sugar together thoroughly, and then just let it sit for 3 minutes, and then mix it again, and then let it sit for another 3 minutes. I don't know why. Again, this was from my chef from culinary school. I trust her a lot more than I trust myself. And then we mix. Again. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, thinking back to the recipe, I think it was add the eggs, and then mix, and then wait 3 minutes, and then mix, and then wait 3 minutes. This is why I need my recipe with me. This is what happens when I go based entirely off of guesstimation. I know that's usually what happens, but I'm trying hard this time. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. This is more the texture that I'm looking for. So now it's mixed, so now I need to wait 3 minutes. In the meantime, I have made awkward eye contact with 3 people. One of them said that my brown butter smelled good. I said thank you, and then she walked away. That was more interaction than I was ever hoping for. I don't need any more. There's gonna be more. Fun fact, this kitchen is quite literally next to the gym. So people coming down here, going to the gym, don't see me, but they smell the cookies being made, and I cannot be helping their fitness journeys. I am so sorry. But then we mix again. And then we wait 3 more minutes. Again. Okay, and once that's all mixed up and ready to go, we're also gonna add the salt, the vanilla, the baking soda. Not powder. I don't remember what I put in there. I miss my recipe, guys. Sprinkle in the flour that I probably should have sifted in here, but if they don't have a strainer, I don't think they have a sift either. Okay, well now that the cookie is a dough, and I surprisingly got very little flour on myself throughout this entire experience, I'm gonna need you guys to move. I need to add the chocolate chips, and that was what you were on. So now I get to do this in a very deep squat. Yeah, other people may be going to the gym over there. This is my workout. Okay, why is it so difficult to mix these chocolate chips in right now? Like, the butter's making it greasy, so they're not actually mixing in. It's harder to mix in the chocolate chips than it was to mix the cookie dough in general. If I'm ever doing this again, I'm bringing my stand mixer down here. Okay, well now that the chocolate chips are mixed into the best of my ability, it's time for my favorite time. You guys know what time it is. We got the sheet tray, we got the scoop. It's scooping time. I don't want to do this. Just like the amount of times in my life that I've had to scoop cookies is insane. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm here, I'm doing it because I want cookies, and I want to share in the festivities of the fact that I am able to make cookies. But God, that just brings back memories I don't like. I have scooped all of the cookie dough. It has made 12 cookies that I put onto 2 separate sheet trays for some reason. Probably because I don't want them to all bake together. This is the cutest little dog. Anyway, cookies have been scooped. 2 things that I have come to the realization. One, the hand soap here is like the same kind that they use in like the hospitals. The one that the soap smells like medicine and it's pink and I can't tell if it's bubblegum or cherry, scented, cough syrup, whatever. I miss my hand soap upstairs. Also, I hate scooping so much that I apparently subconsciously broke my scoop. And when I say subconsciously, I mean I did it in real life. I just didn't mean to. I just hate scooping cookies that much. Okay, but the oven's been done preheating since before the brown butter was even done, so I'm gonna pop the cookies in the oven for, oh God, hold on. I didn't bring down an oven mitt. God, I hope they have oven mitts in here. Okay, so I literally looked through like all of these drawers and cabinets. I cannot find a single oven mitt, oven pad. I need to change the racks in the oven. It's too low. I need them to be up higher. I don't have anything hot. I would use my sweatshirt sleeves, but this is a new sweatshirt. Don't think I haven't done it before. I've done it before. Okay, well, thank God the refrigerator is empty because now I've come to the conclusion that the most logical thing to do is just pop my cookies in here, run upstairs real quick to grab my oven mitt and the recipe that I forgot up there. I should stop leaving this refrigerator open. I pay rent here. Hello and welcome back to the elevator confessional. I don't really have anything to confess. This is actually going a lot better than I thought it would, but also not going the way I thought it would at all. That's life, isn't it? I'm back. I have an oven mitt. I have the recipe book that is just a notebook with a single recipe in it, but I brought them, and so now I can finally change out the racks in the oven. And when I say racks, I mean literally just like bring this one up one, and then the other one like down one. Why is it such a struggle to do one-handed? Who needs 2 oven mitts? I just brought down the one. In they go. Yoink. And they're gonna stay in there for like 6 minutes, and then I'm gonna switch the trays, and then I'm gonna rotate them, and then I'm gonna put them back in for another 6 minutes. So like 10 to 12 minutes in total. If you know you're putting them all on one sheet tray, you know, being a normal person, gross.
And while the cookies were baking, I decided to, you know, be a good person, a good tenant, and clean up after myself. I expect good karma from this.
Okay, at this point it's been more like 15 minutes than 10 to 12, but they needed a little bit more time because they were a little wet in the center, but look at them now. Also, since they're still warm and gooey, I have the sea salt here. I'm just gonna do a nice little sprinkling on top so it gets into all of like the melted chocolate. I'm so excited for these cookies. So now I'm gonna put them from the sheet tray onto the cooling rack, and this is all I have. Again, technically it's a cake server, but my spatula was dirty and in my dishwasher, and I didn't have time to do an entire load of dishes. Wait, do they have a spatula here? They haven't had anything else that I've needed, so I don't think so. I guess I just have to be creative. Oh God, they're still very warm. Never mind, this may be a bad idea. This might have been a bad idea. I might need to let them cool a little bit longer. Like, if I pick up this cookie, I'm pretty sure it's just gonna fall through the slats. Oh my, oh. Why do I want to eat it just like this? It's still really warm. It's gonna, the melted chocolate's gonna burn my face. Hey, take it back, I don't care anymore. I'm really happy. I'm really happy. But there we have it. Brown butter chocolate chip cookies made in my apartment's communal kitchen. I made cookies in a public setting and didn't spontaneously combust, which I thought was gonna happen. That's what my anxiety was telling me. But thank you guys so much for watching and so much for being here, and I will see you guys when I see you guys next. Goodbye.
Just kidding, because I wanted to leave cookies for the other residents that were watching me make said cookies. So I washed off the spatula that I used to eat one of the cookies off of, and then I also found this beautiful serving tray that I could put the cookies on and leave, so I didn't have to leave any of my own dishes, but it was dirty. So I covered it in wax paper, which I actually did find in the kitchen. I wasn't able to find anything But I did find wax paper, so I put some more cookies onto the tray. I also wanted to leave a note about the cookies, so I needed a pen, and I found a bunch of them in the kitchen. Nothing else was in the kitchen, but I did find a pen. So I wrote a note saying there were brown butter chocolate chip cookies, all of the ingredients that they had, any allergens that might be needed. And fun fact, I did not get a picture or a video of the note right away when I first made the cookies, so I came down 2 hours later, and there was half a cookie left. Like, all of the other cookies were gone. Like, people took them. I'm so happy that people like my baking. Like, I knew that. But this might become like a regular thing since the people enjoy it. So thank you guys so much for being here and so much for watching. And I'll see you guys when I see you guys next. Goodbye.